Welcome to the City of Singles with your host, Chelsea Beller. Keep listening. Here we are. Welcome. A very zen mood going into it.
Let's just forget about the episode.
Yeah.
Take cleansing breaths.
And
And talk about our spiritual healing process.
breathe into the pelvis.
Breathe into your womb and birth your spirit.
I want you to birth a baby. This is baby 2019. Birth the baby.
Pregnancy is a mindset. Feel the baby and the baby exists.
I haven't had sex in weeks, but I am pregnant, alas.
What is a fertility treatment if not a distraction from the fact that the baby's been inside you all along? We've all got babies in our womb.
We're all pregnant.
Yeah.
With life and abundance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast of Zen.
Yeah.
Obviously. Zen and pregnant women. No, this is the City of Singles with your host, Chelsea Beller. And today, I'm hosting with Eva Billick,
Hi.
who is my roommate. And you may recognize her voice because she was from my first episode.
It is beautiful to be back. I feel honored. I feel overjoyed. I feel
good.
emotional.
Yes.
I feel spiritual. I feel
Pregnant.
pregnant. It's a journey.
It's a big journey.
Yeah.
Just heads up, neither of us are pregnant. We're just we're pregnant with love and love
Yeah.
for life and
I checked a lot this month, and I'm not pregnant.
oh god.
Thank you, drugstores. Thank you, urgent care.
Thank you. Thank you to the world that has not blessed us yet with with crazed, maniacal, smaller beings.
Yeah.
Hi. So, this is funny. We recorded this episode before.
We did.
And when I say that, I mean, we did it, but somehow my mic didn't pick it up. And so now we're doing it again.
Woo!
But I think we're even more energized. We have a new life about us.
A renewed sense of energy.
Yes.
You're going to listen to that old episode with a bad sound quality, and you're going to be like, that Eva is a big pile of garbage, and I want nothing to do with her. This
Trash.
Eva was the winner.
The winner.
She brought her A game. She brought her
Yes.
brain and her heart.
Yes.
She killed it.
Yes.
That's going to be you in the future. You
That's
in
me.
45
Those are my
minutes.
thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I brought Eva back for a couple of reasons. One, when I first started the podcast, that first episode, I didn't really know what I was doing. And
Who does?
No one does.
No
We
one
go
ever
through
does.
life. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong way to do anything.
No.
Yeah. So, we each shared a funny date story that time, and it was really fun. It was a good amount of laughs and joy. And this time, I just wanted to talk more about her because she has an incredible dating story. So we're just gonna dive right in.
Okay.
Eva, you're from the East Coast. You're from a number of places on the East Coast. Why don't you tell us about that?
Great.
Okay. Englewood, New Jersey.
Yes, born in Englewood, New Jersey. I grew up in Teaneck, New Jersey, land of the Jews, Jerusalem of America. More kosher restaurants per capita than anywhere in the world. I just made that up, but I assume it's true, and I've worked at all of them. They're very shady. So, I grew up there. And then I went to Israel for a year when I was 18, which is like pretty common where I'm from. And then I went to Massachusetts for school. I was in Western Mass at first, and then I moved to Boston, and then I moved to New York for a few years, and then I moved back to Boston for a couple years, and then I moved to LA last year.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing the West Coast thing now.
Doing it.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
we were actually talking about that this morning. I was very put off by all the vegetation when I moved here. Yes. Of all the things that threw me, the trees were the weirdest things. I got really confused. I felt like an animal out of her element. And
do you think it's like a landmark thing? Like,
yeah, it must be. I think it's
there's so less foliage.
Yes.
Or tall foliage around here.
The trees here are a little
sparse?
A little sparse, a little thinner than the East Coast. They're not as full and lush always. But, I mean, California is beautiful in different ways, but there was something about my body that just felt off. Like, I felt so internally, like, weird and wiggly.
Yeah.
What's happening? Yeah, my soul was just like...
I'm a palm tree all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like Jell-O on the inside for a while. But it's been over a year now, so I feel a little used to it.
Yeah, you've grown accustomed to...
Yeah. I breathe easier on the East Coast. Like, when I go back, I'm like, oh, this is what normal feels like.
Huh.
But I am used to it here, and I am glad I live here.
Yeah.
And both of those things are true.
Well, we're all glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, you had some dating experience back in the East Coast.
Yeah.
You were off and on with this guy for quite some time. Why don't we talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I met him in gender studies class in college. I remember he did a really charming presentation on Taylor Swift. And I was like, I want to meet this guy. And then we shook hands. He had a really aggressive handshake. I liked him right away. And we dated for 3 years. And it was great. It was intense. It was a lot of things. But it was the first time I said I love you to someone where I really, really felt like I meant it.
Oh, yeah.
And for a while we were long distance. He actually was living in LA and I was living in New York.
Oh, that's funny.
So for half our relationship, we were going back and forth. And then he moved back to New York, but at that point we had kind of drifted and so we broke up. So that was after 3 years. And then I spent a year kind of being sad, hooking up with people, figuring out that like, oh, there are other men. That's kind of funny. But I don't think I ever really got over him. Like I think we kind of left that relationship with an open door.
Yeah.
We were like, I love you. This isn't working for now, but maybe see you later was kind of the vibe.
Right. Yeah.
So after about a year of being single, we got back in touch.
Okay.
And we met up for a drink, and it was great. It was like no time had passed.
Yeah.
He felt like a really good friend.
Aww.
And then for the next 4 years, we were in each other's lives.
Wow.
And if he were to tell this story, I'm 100% sure he would tell it very differently.
Right.
But the way it was for me, and I'm sure the way it was for him in a lot of ways that I don't know if he would give credit to, but I just felt like we didn't get back together. We never said let's date, but we were really close in different ways. I moved back to Boston, but we still kept in touch. We were each other's confidants. We talked on the phone. We texted all the time. We
Was he
visited
in
each other.
New York at the time?
Yeah, once he moved back to New York, he was there and he's still there.
Got it.
And we were open about everything. And like our relationship was kind of weird and unconventional, and I would tell people that he was my life partner, but we weren't dating, which most people don't get.
Right.
But we talked about it all the time, and we were really open with each other, and we were really clear about our boundaries. And the only thing that we consistently said, let's not talk about this, is the other people we were dating. Because we knew we would casually date other people.
Yeah.
I was casually dating.
Right.
But we didn't ask each other because it just wasn't important.
Yeah.
They weren't important. Like, what was important was us. And we talked about a future together. But we just didn't neither of us felt ready for, like, a capital R relationship.
Yes.
So we were like, let's do our things, develop in the ways that we need to develop as people, as professionals, find our niche wherever that is, and like come together as a little bit more of like whole people.
Yeah.
So that was really great and maybe delusional, but great at the time.
You need a little delusion.
Yeah, all
Sometimes.
romance needs a little delusion, I think.
Yeah.
So then I moved to LA for acting.
Yes.
Because I kind of fell into that a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And so we sort of switched places in a funny way.
Yeah, that's funny.
And he came to visit me once. He was here last December.
Uh-huh.
And it was really great. I just felt amazing with him being here. He really he centered me. I think I centered him. We talked about how amazing we felt around each other. It was like really beautiful. We started laughing out loud because we went to, I mentioned this the other night, we went to the tar pits or LACMA, I can't remember which one.
Yeah, they're right there.
They're right there.
Yeah.
They're next to each other. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
LACMA and the tar pits are the same activity. That's what we've learned from this episode.
Obviously, yes.
And yeah, and I started laughing because I was like, I really am breathing a lot easier this week. Like something about it, I feel so much more relaxed. And he was like, yeah, me too. I wonder if that's significant. and so I thought we were just headed in such a good direction, and I felt like we were really ready to get back together.
So you felt like you were breathing easy with him, and you felt like things could move forward.
We were, and we were talking about a future, and he said, I'll never forget, he said, he's Catholic, and we're talking on the phone, and I'm in my old apartment before I moved here, and he said, when we have a house together, can we be Shomer Shabbos? Which, like, if you are most of people in the world, you don't know what that means, and so, FYI, that wasn't English. Shomer Shabbos means... Shomer in Hebrew is like to guard, to watch over. So it's like observing. Shabbos is like an American yeshivish way of saying the word Shabbat, which is like Friday night to Saturday night. In Judaism, it's the Sabbath.
Right.
So you like don't use technology, and it's very community oriented and restful, and you just like have meals and nap and read and take a walk and hang out with friends, and it's like lovely. And that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
And I haven't celebrated Shabbat like since I will when I go home, but I haven't celebrated since we've known each other. But like he has learned a lot about Judaism over the years through me,
right? Yeah,
and it was just so funny hearing this like Catholic guy ask that, and I was like, yeah, actually that sounds lovely. But then when we got closer to talking about things for real, I think he wasn't ready to give up on certain things in his lifestyle, and just it didn't happen.
He just kept imagining like, oh, that's way in the future though.
Yeah, the future piece was really comfortable for him.
Yeah.
And I was finally ready to be in my future.
Yeah. You wanted that future to be the present.
And it's funny because I am in a lot of ways. Like I don't have him anymore, and I don't have a partner, but I feel like I'm actively in my future. Like my future was meant to be California, being creative, surprising myself, like meeting a new cast of characters, and that feels really meaningful.
100%. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aww.
So he's gone, and then I started dating in a more serious way, which has been the first time I've ever dated and thought, oh, maybe I will end up with you, or like maybe they'll meet my soulmate tonight.
Right, because when you were like off and on with him, it was always, oh, sure, like, I'll go out with this other guy, but I'm going to end up with this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, now you're like, well, he's gone. He's not even in this in this book.
Yeah. We haven't spoken since the day I moved in here.
Wow.
Actually. So it's been radio silence. We don't follow each other on social media. No texts, no calls, nothing.
How interesting is that?
Yeah.
Like your first day here, you really started in this apartment.
Yeah.
You started like a brand new book.
Yeah. A brand new book.
Yeah.
It was cool. Yeah, it was great. Because I mean, I cried a lot over the next like couple of months, and I was really like raw and vulnerable with my friends and my family. But it was kind of a cleansing period. So
yeah,
I really did start a new chapter moving in here.
I think it's so good to cry.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And you rarely have those cries where your entire body is invested in the cry. Like, that cry will never end. It will go on forever. You will fill up rivers. The world will overflow. Your body will combust. Everything is going to explode because your crying is so intense. It happens, like, a couple times in a lifetime.
It does.
And that was one of them. If you let it.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful and horrible.
Yes.
But amazing.
Yeah.
And especially if you can let someone else be there with you while you're crying. Because I think sometimes when you're that emotional and that open, it's really hard to have someone else be there.
Yeah.
Because there's something embarrassing about it. There's something Yeah.
There's snot everywhere. Your eyes are puffy.
It's like risky almost.
Yeah, you're like convulsing because you're crying so hard and your abs hurt. And,
yeah. And like most people don't, even if you're best friends with someone, like a lot of times you just don't see that side of somebody.
Yeah.
And so it's great if you have somebody that you feel comfortable enough to be that vulnerable with. It's really amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are our goals, to find a partner who can see us ugly cry.
Yes. Yes.
And we won't be ashamed.
Yes.
That's good goals.
Those are great goals.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to be more vulnerable and open and
Really?
honest with life.
Since when? What inspired that?
I think coming into the new year, I just want to start with a clean slate and clarify my relationships with people. I have this urge to like talk about things from the past with other people and tell them like, this is what I was thinking at the time. Is this what you were thinking or feeling? Or, tell me all your thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about the new year.
Yeah, it's nice to mark a new chapter.
Yeah.
And your birthday's coming up.
And my birthday!
So it's so many reflections.
I know. It'll be 27, you guys.
27. 27 was a good year for me. I really liked 27. That's when I decided I wanted to pursue acting.
Oh, yeah.
I had just moved back to Boston. It was a great year.
Oh, and I made one of my resolutions this year to go on a trip to Boston.
Yeah.
So I'm really
It's gonna be a
excited
good one.
about that. It's going to be good.
It's going to be a good trip.
Yeah. I'm hoping to go in the springtime.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
That's good.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. What are you looking for now in the dating realm?
I'm looking for two things that might be conflicting. One is I definitely want to find a partner. I feel ready for that.
Yes.
I feel ready to find someone who is mature and responsible and would be a good dad and can handle emotion and makes me laugh out loud. And
yes.
yeah.
Love that.
Yes. Yeah. Emotionally intelligent and available, communicative, secure, smart, likes to read.
Yeah.
Really calm and go with the flow. That's important to me.
Yes.
Like no one who would ever send back food at a restaurant. Like that is the biggest. Are you goddamn kidding me, dude? What, it's like not as good as you wanted it to be, so you're like complaining?
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely not. You suck it up. You can make dinner at home, but you didn't. You chose to go out, so like, deal with it.
Go home and make your own goddamn pork chop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they bring you a pork chop and you're like me and you don't eat that, fine. You can be like, I didn't order this and I actually don't eat pork. But if you do eat pork and they accidentally bring you one, eat it.
Yeah, just eat it.
Yeah. No sending back food. So I can't be with that guy.
Yeah, don't be with that guy.
Yeah. But I also wouldn't mind like just hanging out with someone who has like a great sense of humor and is great. I think because I just want to be like filling up my time a lot right now. So I'm like, well, if it's like someone I genuinely have fun hanging out with and there's no future, I like the smart, responsible part of me kind of taps at the door and is like, hey man, this might not be the best investment of your time. But there's still a part of me that's like, yeah, but I just want to be hanging out with people.
Yeah.
But the bigger picture that I am mostly on the lookout for is like someone who can really sort of match me and
of course,
and also even me out. Like the go with the flow thing is partly because I can get like easily nervous and rattled,
right? And
I have to talk myself down, and it's always like really nice when I can be with someone who doesn't need to talk himself down, who just like is sort of like that. It kind of evens me out, and I can learn from that, and it's great.
You need me as a
I need
man.
Chelsea. Or as a woman.
Oh, okay. We're getting really deep and real in this episode.
Yeah. I've never dated a woman before, but maybe that's been my biggest mistake.
Maybe. But I have a very strict no dating roommates policy.
Yeah. Some people do.
Yeah, and that's
weird.
It's
so weird.
Why would you do that?
You are asking to break your lease, spend a ton of money, and move out very soon. Like, why would you want to put yourself through that?
It's just,
it's so weird.
so risky and
I knew someone last year who
weird.
was casually hooking up with her roommate. Why? There are
do you
so
do
many people
that?
in Los Angeles. It's such a big city. It's
such a
way
big
too
city.
big. It's like 8 cities in one city.
It really is.
Go find anyone else.
literally anybody.
Not the guy you're living with.
Yeah.
Ugh. I was so stressed out for her.
Ugh, I would be too.
I know.
Dating here in LA, something that I talk about frequently with my podcast interviewees, is how different it is here versus other places.
Yeah.
There's a casual dating culture, a hookup culture here that is very, it's very popular. Have you ever experienced anything like that in any of the other places that you've lived in?
Yeah. Well,
East Coast?
part of that was my own mentality, which when I was dating in New York and in Boston, I didn't take it that seriously because I had this other person in mind as the one I was going to end up with.
Right.
So I was fine with the more casual dating. And I think that in major cities like New York, Boston, LA, probably like Chicago, Austin, these bigger places, I imagine that the hookup culture and the casual dating is more of a thing. I think in LA it probably feels bigger because it's so goddamn big here.
Yeah.
And the distance might seem silly to other people if you live in a smaller city, but like it really is a big deal.
Yeah.
If you go on an app and if you live on the east side of LA and someone else lives in Santa Monica,
Oh, God.
you're like, I don't know. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No. Like the distance actually affects your schedule.
It's a deal breaker.
It affects so many things. And I
Yeah.
think because there's so many people and it's so big and driving is such a part of the culture,
Yes.
it's easier to take things a little more casual and be like, oh, well, you're 45 minutes away. Like, do I even really want to invest in this relationship?
Right.
Like, I don't know if I want to drive to the west side right now.
Yeah.
So I think things like that can easily deter people. And it's also a pretty shallow city.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it is, it's full of people who have depth and understanding and real wants and desires.
Right.
But, like, it's the land of Hollywood.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Literally.
it's really, a lot of it's really shallow and really, like, the value of it. I mean, listen, I love going out for a drink. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I think people value that kind of, like, oh, let's just go out and have a bunch of drinks and see what happens more than let's sit across from each other over one drink.
Yes.
And like really get to know the person, really take the time.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of in a rush. We kind of want to I don't even know. I don't know what the end of that sentence is, but I think it's just maybe a little more shallow and a little more empty here, and we try to fill that void with things that like don't matter rather than being like, let me really get to know this person across from me.
Yeah. Also, everyone here is very, very focused on staying young and being young, and I think we all kind of correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, but I think we all kind of want to stay young so badly that we think about settling down and everything related as something so far in the future. We don't have to worry about that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have to worry about that yet. I want to focus on my career, my Instagram follows, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
I want to make it big before I settle.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that could be a lot of LA people's mentality.
I haven't been very successful in my career. I don't know what that's like. So I'm sort of speaking as a guess here. Maybe it really is near impossible to do that. But I also wonder if that's kind of just a myth we perpetuate.
Yeah.
Maybe we think it's really impossible, but maybe our careers would take off if we had more love and support in our lives. Maybe that's the thing we need to believe in ourselves and go for it, is we come home to like a loving, beautiful partnership or family.
Yeah.
Like maybe that does give people strength to like go for it in different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, there are logistics involved. Like if you are trying to perform every night, but you also have a baby, like those two things conflict.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, people are successful and have families. I think if you find someone who actually is willing to like split that work with you,
Yeah.
that certainly makes it easier.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, especially with like heterosexual couples, women decide to like just take on more and don't expect their partners actually to put in 50%.
I agree.
So that always helps. And like, I don't know. I think you can figure it out. I don't think it needs to be this like deal breaker, but a lot of people do talk about like, oh, well, yeah, I can't really think about settling down or getting into a serious relationship because I need to spend every second of the next 5 years putting work into this. But if you're honest with yourself, how many seconds of those 5 years are you spending just being like silent and depressed
Yeah.
and not actually working the way you tell people you're working?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What if instead you filled some of those moments with like happiness and joy?
Yeah.
And maybe that makes your art better, and maybe that makes you feel a little more liberated. I don't know. That's the mentality I'm going to go with, because that sounds like a better life.
Here's another thought. I think we're also very forward thinking, or the majority of us are very free spirited, and I think we're also trying to just love ourselves.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us are in the art world,
Yeah.
and a lot of us get rejected a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to tell yourself after every single rejection, I am enough.
Yeah.
And I'm working toward a goal, and I'm going to make it. And I'm not going to let this one rejection get me down, or 1,000 rejections get me down. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think another side of it is like we're trying to love ourselves.
Yeah. So how can you really expect someone to love you if you haven't achieved that yet?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm still working on that for sure.
Oh yeah. I think everyone is.
Yeah, everyone is. It's part of life's journey altogether.
Yeah. We're always going to have moments where we truly love ourselves and immediately follow up with, ugh, I hate myself.
Yeah.
But
I will fall asleep and wake up to negative thoughts about myself. And it's something that I'm really trying to work on.
Yeah. It's
so I recognize that I'll do that, and I'll be like, how, but I'm looking for someone to like fully accept me. I need to, if I'm selling myself, I need to believe in myself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true for acting, and that's true for relationships in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. Well, we solved it.
We did it.
We solved the podcast, everybody.
The world is such a better place now.
The world is a better place. We figured it out.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to love ourselves and build each other up. And and once we've established the foundation of that, then we can even consider adding someone else to our lives.
Yeah. Because you'll trust that if you're having a problem, the other person's support is nice, but it's not the thing that's going to get you through.
Yeah.
And so you already know to depend on yourself and give yourself that love. And then that extra dose of love and support is great.
Right.
But, like, you're not leaning on another person for too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit more about how you coped after your essentially 8-year on and off thing?
Yeah. I
know you dated a little. I know you took a few breaks from dating.
Yes. The day we broke up.
The day you moved in.
I use the word breakup, even though we never officially got back together, but we were together. We were connected for a very long time. So after we broke up, I immediately joined Tinder. I was like, distractions, this will be healthy and emotionally good. So I went on, I don't know, 1 million dates in 4 months or 3
1
months.
million. Yeah, I
1
remember.
million. Yeah. I was so shady about it too. Like I would leave drinks with a friend and then go, and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna go to bed, and then I would like go meet somebody and for a drink. Like I just couldn't be alone.
Yeah.
Which it took me a couple of months to realize why I was going on so many dates. I just couldn't be alone with my thoughts. So I was filling way too much time with dating instead of things that were probably better for me.
That happens.
And the thing is, most of those dates were so boring. They weren't even that exciting. I was like, dear God, I don't want to listen to your obsession with Game of Thrones for the next 35 minutes. Where can I get another whiskey?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm bored and it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And then I took a few months off. And then a few months ago, I started dating again. Mm-hmm. And it's going better.
Yeah.
A lot better.
Good.
I'm not spending as much time dating.
Yeah.
I'm definitely putting some time and effort into it.
Right.
There's no one I'm, like, psyched about right now.
Sure.
But there's, like, some people who are around. And I'm just pickier.
Yeah.
So I'm going through someone's Hinge profile, which is my favorite app.
Hinge. Hinge is good.
Hinge is good. I don't have
Yeah.
luck with anybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody else is weird on other apps. I think Hinge is good because you can see their answers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can see, like, oh, you're funny and charming and smart.
Yeah.
Or, like, you're super gross and pretty easily weed people out.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's better. I do wish I was meeting people where I had more chemistry with. Like, I'll meet guys who are, like, really great and smart and funny, but, like, the chemistry just isn't there.
Yeah.
Which is so important.
Yeah.
So I haven't had that much of that lately. I had chemistry with one guy who you know.
Right. Yes.
We did not meet on an app. I've met a couple of people in person lately, which has been really cool.
Yeah, that's always nice.
So nice.
That's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
I want to meet more people in person.
It's really great. It's
Yeah.
really great. So we had chemistry, but like nothing else really lined up.
Yeah.
Like we laugh, etc., but nothing else lined up. And so I think we both realized pretty quickly that like, oh, maybe this was a mistake to detour into romantic territory because this very clearly won't work out. We don't have the same long-term plans. We don't have the same values. We don't like to spend our time the same way. You know,
Yeah.
we don't live the same way.
Just completely different
Completely opposite.
trajectories.
In every way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that chemistry will keep you going for a minute.
It'll keep you going.
It's so annoying.
It'll make you unhappy, and you will make yourself unhappy over and over again.
Yes. Stupid chemistry.
Stupid chemistry.
I hate you.
And some of it's
Science.
like and some of it is definitely like, okay, how much of this chemistry is me knowing that he is unavailable for me and wanting to chase after that?
Mm-hmm.
How much
Yep.
of me
Been there.
is like, oh, you don't like me that much? Tell me more. And
Tell me why.
Tell me why. Tell me exactly what you were doing when you weren't calling or texting me for the last 5 days.
Yeah.
Like, let me know every detail about when you weren't thinking about me.
Yes, I want to know.
I really want to know. So, that's something I'm going to work on this year.
Tell me all about your complete lack of interest in me.
Yeah.
I need to know
I'm
why.
really interested because I feel like we're on the same page with a lot of that. So, let's get into it.
Oh, what dating apps are you on? And tell us a little bit about each of them in case the listeners don't know.
Yes, I am on Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble. Mm-hmm. Tinder is a black hole. I reject most people because most guys I see on there do the thing where the camera's at a really low angle and they're looking down on you and they're not smiling.
Oh,
So
yeah.
essentially they're communicating, I will kill you at the end of the date. I might not even wait until the end of the date.
Yeah.
I might meet you and then just kill you and throw you in the back of my truck.
Exactly.
So most of them are a no.
Yes, good.
Hard no.
Hard pass.
I mean, unless they're really cute. But,
Sure.
so I'm going to die on a date. Like, you might as well be hot.
Yeah. That makes
But
sense.
most of them are a hard pass, and once in a while I will match with someone, but then we don't message each other.
Right, yeah.
Or if I message him first, I don't get a response.
There's like that message standoff. I don't get it.
It's so annoying.
It's so annoying.
Bumble I also don't like. I think that the quality of profiles are better on Bumble, but most people don't write anything about themselves, which is a deal breaker for me.
Oh, yeah.
You can be cute as hell if you haven't written anything about yourself. Absolutely not. I
Yeah.
need to know if you have even like one smart thought in your brain.
Yeah.
So, but once in a while I will match with someone on there.
And also, your profile can't just be 6'2".
Yeah. Come on.
I'd
say something that is indicative of your personality.
Yeah, give me something.
If sports is the first word on your profile, no. If your profile is just a list, you're a no.
Yeah, you're a no.
Sports, beer, travel. I don't care, man.
Yeah.
Like, say a sentence.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're convincing me that you don't know how to speak.
Exactly.
So, and also, like, seriously, travel? Oh my God, you must be fascinating.
Wow,
you must be the most amazing person
in the world that loves travel.
I've never heard of that before. Do you like go on airplanes? Have you been to Europe? Like, what do you do?
Do you go in a car?
Wow,
do you
it's
leave
amazing.
your house?
So amazing. It takes so much skill and devotion. So, I match with someone once in a while on Bumble, but Bumble kind of sucks because if you don't see the match right away, then they expire.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to pay for an app.
Yeah, it's dumb.
And then if they don't see that you responded, then you expire. So like it doesn't really work that well. And then if you do see and you do put in the time to actually talk to each other, I haven't had that much luck. Like this week, I kind of took a chance on someone that I thought maybe would be like okay.
Yeah.
I was a little worried.
It was through Bumble?
It was through Bumble. I was a little worried because his profile was pretty full. He had a lot of information about himself.
Okay.
But at the end, he wrote something like, I'm looking for a smart girl with great lips. And there's something about that where I was like, oh, I hate this guy so much. With great lips, you fucking perv. Shut up. Like, God damn it, sit back. A woman's going to look like how she's going to look like.
Yeah.
And you're going to accept her and love her because she's all the things that you really want.
Right.
So, but his other answers were like actually smart and his pictures were so cute. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go for it. We matched right away. We talked for a couple of days. No, not even a couple of days. We talked for like one day. And I was like, I thought that maybe he was being a little bit forward in the first day. He didn't say anything sexual. He just had a lot of answers, like he had a lot of like texts or whatever messages like right, one after the other.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, he's communicating a lot. I feel like there's kind of an aggressive energy here.
Yeah.
And then he said something about you've got great lips, and I was like, oh, gross. I hate this. I hate this so much. I met you online yesterday. Don't talk about my face like that. Like, let's get to know each other in a light and casual way for a few days. I'll see if you seem like someone I want to meet.
Right.
And then you can propose a date.
Yeah.
But, like, don't talk about my physical stuff in that way. It's
the only thing I think about is that he wants you to give him a blowjob. That's it.
Yeah. And he lost his chance.
He did.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
Do not
also
immediately...
not sorry at all.
Yeah. Do not immediately comment on a woman's lips.
Yeah. Or, like, anything. Like, obviously you think she's cute if you matched with her.
Yeah.
But... Let's just chat in a casual, no pressure way.
Yeah.
So I like Hinge because you have to answer questions. Everybody has to put up a few pictures. So I really have an opportunity to see if the person is smart, if they can make me laugh with their answers, and if I can actually tell what you look like based on your pictures.
Right.
A lot of guys do the thing where they keep their sunglasses on or the pictures like are really far away.
And
I'm like, cool that you went skydiving. I don't know what you look like. Couldn't pick you out of a crowd.
Right. I don't even know if that's you.
Yeah.
You could have just typed in skydiving into Google.
Yeah.
Like,
great, man. Someone went skydiving. That's all I know.
That's fantastic.
So that's the only one I use, really.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you like the best?
I feel like Hinge has gotten me the most matches with... Let me form a sentence.
Yeah.
Hinge has provided the most amount of matches and dates with people who are intellectually compatible with me. Mm-hmm. But there just wasn't that chemistry or spark, or I wasn't like super physically attracted to them.
Totally.
Tinder, it's been mostly physical attraction, so it's just,
Yeah, I get it.
But right now, I'm not on any, and it feels really good.
Yeah, you need a break sometimes.
You do. Mm-hmm. And I'm super open to meeting people in person.
Yeah.
I just need to, like, do one. I need to go up to one guy and be like, hey, do you want to go on a date?
Yeah.
And if he says no, then I'll feel the rejection, I'll embrace it.
Yeah.
And I'll let it go in the world.
Let it go in the world.
Yes.
And you tried. And it means that you're braver than 99% of the other assholes out there.
Exactly. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. It's a good place.
I think so.
Yeah.
I was just thinking back what we were saying before about LA and how it's different or similar to the bigger cities. You were saying that it's a pretty similar mindset in big cities.
Mm-hmm.
Did you grow up? Is Englewood a smaller town?
Oh, I threw that in there because that's technically where I was born, but I grew up in Teaneck, which is right next door. Yeah, it's a suburb. It's a pretty typical suburb.
Do you think if you had stayed there, you would be like married at this point in your life? Or?
Yeah, it's like a Jewish sheltered little bubble. And it's great, and people who live there are like smart and in the world and great.
Yeah.
But dear God, I mean, if you live there, it means that like you are married, you have kids, you're going to send your kids to a very specific type of school.
Right.
You're going to have a really scheduled life.
Yeah.
And I would probably have followed that trajectory. I would have only dated Jewish guys.
Right.
Which freaked me out because I'm like, are we cousins? Are you my brother? We're related. And I would have had a really, like a night. I mean, there's something really like beautiful about living in a Jewish community. Like community really does mean a lot in Jewish spaces. So you have a lot of like people around you, in good times and not.
Yeah. But
it's also, there's something about, if I had stayed there, I wouldn't have taken any risks.
Yeah.
I would have been a risk-free person.
Because you grew up so religious, is that still very much a part of you? Is that still, like, do you still want someone who has a background of growing up Jewish or just religious in any way? Or do you care if they've been, an atheist their whole life? Is that a big part of it?
I don't know. If people who are like staunch atheists are kind of intense in general.
They are, yeah.
So I don't know if that would be a good match for many reasons.
Yeah.
I guess I'm agnostic now. It doesn't matter to me at all. It never the idea of like God and religion doesn't come up. Like I don't, if you can call me an atheist, I won't care that much.
Right.
It just doesn't come up. In terms of like Judaism itself, and like the culture and the day-to-day practices, because there's a lot that's involved in being like an observant Jew.
Yeah.
That does mean a lot to me, not in terms of like it's not a part of my life. I haven't been observant in years.
Right.
And I don't intend to become observant. But it's such a big part of how I was raised and my family and where I come from, and I don't think it's possible to like be my partner without knowing and embracing that part of my history and that part of my family.
Right.
And like it would be, I guess in some ways it would be convenient if someone knew Judaism in that way in some capacity.
Right.
Because I wouldn't need to like explain things.
Yeah.
But I think what's important to me, whether the person's Jewish or not, is and I don't actively seek Jews at all. Like that really is not something.
Yeah.
I won't want to date someone who actively who feels actively Christian, because that feels like that's kind of a conflict.
Yeah. I get
that. But people who are like just sort of agnostic in general, or like nothing or whatever, or like calm, so to some extent, or like calmly atheist, like that's fine.
A very serene atheist.
Yeah, serene atheist. Who are those people? So I think that as long as the person likes religion, that's kind of all that matters to me, because I think that like I don't necessarily believe in anything,
right?
But I think that religion is a really beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I think like community is a really beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And so I can see how it adds like real meaning and value to people's lives.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm interested in different religions. Like, I think, like, religious practices are really interesting. A lot of them are really different.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think as long as someone else, like, has that curiosity, that would be a really good fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think for, like, when you end up with someone?
Yeah, I mean, as long as we share some common ideas about it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, I don't really want someone who's like completely on one spectrum or the other, you know what I mean?
Totally.
So,
Yeah.
because I'm not 100% on any spectrum.
Yeah.
I definitely
Yeah.
consider myself like agnostic or spiritual, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Do you have any crazy, fun, weird, scary stories that you'd like to share?
How concerned would you be if I was like, oh, I've got plenty of scary stories? You'd be like, let's have a talk.
Yeah.
Let's shut this down.
You're never leaving the house again.
You make terrible decisions. Why do you have so many scary stories?
Yeah, what are you doing?
This is terrible.
Stop going out at night.
Stop going out ever. Quit your jobs. Don't sleep.
All 8 of them.
All 8 of them. I know, Jesus. Stories. Well, okay, so part of my dating experience right now is that, like I said, I want a partner, but also I just kind of want people around.
Yeah.
And so I was seeing this guy a few times before Thanksgiving. So this is like a couple months ago. Who was so cute. Chelsea, I've never seen anyone as cute in my life. He was adorable. He had these like
bunny.
so cute. I can't even talk about it. Like his eyes got kind of like wrinkly when he smiled, but not in like an old man way, in like an adorable way.
Yeah.
He looked a little bit like who's that guy? I think he used to date Drew Barrymore. Justin Long.
Oh.
But like way cuter.
Oh, I get that. Yes,
Yeah.
I see it.
Yes.
Yes.
So, but he was way cuter than Justin Long. And
Justin.
Sorry, I saw Justin Long in person.
Did you?
He was getting drinks outside at the place near UCB, and I was getting dinner with a few people there. He definitely looked like a douche. You know, I was like, you're expecting everyone to look at you right now, and so I'm actively not going to look at you.
Yeah.
But then
look just past you.
Yeah. But then one of the
Every
friends I was with pretended to take a call so she could just go outside and be next to him for a minute. I was like, all right, fine. I guess everyone is looking at you. Yeah, so I'm with this guy. Let's call him Josh.
Okay.
And
that's like a call to our first episode with Brad Josh.
oh yeah, Brad, I forgot about him.
Yeah, we impregnated him, remember?
We did. So we went out a few times. Boy could not string together a sentence. He didn't know how to put words together. He didn't know how to banter. He did a lot of like, huh, yeah,
What?
for answers.
No.
Even if it wasn't a yes or no question, because he was just so nervous.
Oh God.
But I was like, how do you look like this and have no self-confidence or the ability to have a human conversation?
Yeah.
You're adorable.
Oh no.
Haven't you like just gotten built-in confidence because society holds what you look like over anything else about you?
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember on our first date, we were at a terrible bar in Hollywood that he loved, obviously. It was so cheesy. And we're sitting on this little, like, bench. We're in the middle of a conversation. And there's a way, sometimes you have a first kiss where someone kind of, like, leans in. And they give you clues that they're about to kiss you.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm fine with this. And you can stop talking and you guys just, like, make out.
Right.
But sometimes someone just hits your face like an attack
Oh God.
in the middle of a conversation.
No.
And it wasn't like an aggressive kiss. Like he wasn't like pulling my face toward. I didn't feel uncomfortable. There was nothing like offensive about it.
Yeah.
I was just like, What's happening right now? Because I was in the middle of a sentence. It's really dark in here. There's people making out on the couch next to us like they're teenagers at a club.
Oh wow.
It was not a club at all. It was inappropriate. And I was in the middle of a sentence, and then all of a sudden he's just on my face to the point where I was still saying a word as he was on my face. And I was like, oh, you did it wrong. Because this is so weird.
Oh, no.
And then I found out, and continued to find out every time I saw him, that he didn't know how to kiss someone. It was like he was an alien who had just come to Earth, and he was like, I've heard of kissing, I'm gonna try it.
Oh.
But, like, the kissing itself was fine, but, like, you know how, like, noses exist? So when you're kissing someone, you, like, tilt a little bit? Like, that's just how that works? He went head on.
What?
Straight onto my face. We
You
were
can't
like,
go nose to nose.
and
What
I
are
was
you
like,
doing?
what? Yeah. But it was such a basic mistake that I didn't know how to correct him, because I was like, I can't verbalize this. It's so awkward that he doesn't know. So I would hold onto his face and, like, really try and move it, but he didn't want to move, so it felt like I was, like, hurting his face
Oh my
a couple of
God.
times. Because I was like, you need to not be, like, directly on me. This doesn't work. It feels weird. I'm not into it.
I figured it out.
Yeah.
He's been underground in a bunker his entire life.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
He did nothing except watch TV.
Yep.
For 20 odd years.
Yep.
And then he found the key to unlock the door that he hadn't been looking for because he's been too busy watching people try to kiss on television.
Yes.
And then he found you, and you were the first person he interacted with and kissed, and he was like, I'm going to try this whole human thing for the first time.
I never had the opportunity, and now the humans will
never
embrace
did.
me. It was so weird.
Oh my God.
I know. And the other stuff wasn't that great too, which was disappointing because he was so cute.
You did other stuff with him?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I just kind of wanted it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't great.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. And then, yeah. And then the last time I saw him was I left his house. I was going back to my car, and he was leaving for the holiday, and he was like, great, I'll call you when I'm back. And it was one of those moments where I was like, we both know that this is it, buddy. It's fine.
This is the
We had a
end.
nice little run.
Yeah.
We tried it.
Right.
We did it.
Yes.
Not worth it.
This chapter was 2 sentences, and now it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you probably couldn't read those 2 sentences because you don't know how to say words. What is wrong with you?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I know.
I'm trying to think if I've ever had an experience like that.
I've dated a bunch of hot dummies. They're just easy to keep around.
Yeah.
And you're like, we can talk about whatever I want to talk about because you're going to follow my lead.
Yeah.
And you're so cute to look at.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just nice.
That's all you need sometimes.
You're kind of a dummy, but you're very cute.
You're very pretty.
They don't last very long,
No.
but I collect them like little figurines.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is, like, my first kiss.
What was that like?
Oh my God.
Who was it?
It was, his name is Kyle.
Mm-hmm. He sounds like a dick.
He was.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. He was this red-headed, freckle-faced, glasses-wearing nerd of all trades.
Mm-hmm.
He played Amped Guard, which if you don't know what that is,
don't.
Nobody does except me.
Is it like Dungeons and Dragons?
No, because it's role-playing.
Isn't Dungeons and Dragons role playing?
But it's like out in the world in front of people.
Oh, he's one of those.
Yes.
Like a Renaissance fair.
Yeah, but like he would go in like our town like park with all these other nerdy dudes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Out there and proud, man. Good
Really
for you.
though. Really. And they would like create these weapons and like armor. Like he went to Ace Hardware like 18 times a day to
Oh my
get all these
God.
different things for his dumb game. And I was like,
Wow.
why are you like this?
Why are you like this?
Why? And I think I don't know. He kept doing this thing like before we started dating. He did this thing where he would appear behind me while I was like on the
Well, that's creepy.
I know. I was so stupid. I would like...
Wait, set the scene. Like, what are you doing?
Yes. So it would be at school, in high school.
Yeah.
I was a junior.
Okay.
I'd be like in my little circle of friends at lunchtime, and then suddenly, like, usually I would be the one talking, and then my friends would all be looking just above me, and I'd be like, what's happening?
That's so scary, because in every movie ever, that means you're about to be murdered.
Yes! And I almost was, because he was so freaky. That's not true, I wasn't almost murdered, but... he was so weird.
But none of us will be surprised if you were.
Yeah.
Like, if this story was like, girl gets murdered by man named Kyle, we'd be like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know.
Because his name's Kyle, we get it.
His name's Kyle.
Yeah. Was he white?
Yes.
There we go.
There we go.
The white guy named Kyle in Northern California. That's where serial killers are bred.
I know!
Yeah.
So yeah, he would appear behind me. This was a very common occurrence. He would make fun of me. Just... constant unwanted attention, and somehow it got my attention to the point that I was like, what do I think about this? And then he was kind of dating an acquaintance, and then he and I were talking about it, and like it was this really like nice kind of serious moment that we'd never had before. And we were at a rehearsal for Alice in Wonderland. To set the scene for that,
yeah,
I was the Red Queen.
I was the Red Queen in Alice in Wonderland, but I was 12.
Stop it.
Okay, continue.
And so I had a wand, or like a
that thing.
It basically looked like a bloody tampon.
Oh.
Yeah, it really did.
Was it a bloody tampon?
No.
Did you mean to get a wand, but you accidentally pulled a tampon out? And you were like, I'm going to use this.
I'm going to use this.
Yeah.
Just like,
same color scheme.
Matches.
This is good. Yeah.
This is good.
It's fine.
And it keeps people away from me.
Yeah. That it does.
That it does. No, it's just like someone like painted it, and I guess it was like a really cheap paint, so it was like always peeling, and it just looks so horrible. It looks so bad. Anyway, I had to share that part because like that was like the main thing that people said when they saw me. They're like, "Oh, nice tampon."
Yep.
I was like, "Cool,
great, thank you."
So I'm holding my bloody tampon, and I'm talking to Kyle, and I tell him, "Well, the next time, you want to express yourself vulnerably like that with someone, you should." And so he's like, "Thanks, that's really good advice." He walked away. He came back. He was like, "Will you go out with me?"
Aww.
And I said, "What?"
That's
and then
cute.
I said, "Will you go out with me?" I was like, "All right."
Yeah.
So, I hadn't had my first kiss yet. Neither had he.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like 2 weeks into us, high school dating.
Yeah.
We went to a park, and we were sitting on a bench, and I think I was talking, and then he just like leaned over and kissed me, and I was like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, you guys, you're like trying to do this whole romantic thing, but you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, and like his lips weren't moving.
He was just like
it was just like burp.
Yep. He just
like
2
magnets. And I was like, this feels wrong.
Yep. It was wrong.
It was
the wrong way to do it.
It's 100% wrong.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my
Young
first
love.
kiss.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then he broke up with me, like 3 years later.
Can't believe you stayed with Kyle for 3 years.
I know.
Wow.
But
we all stay with the wrong people for too long.
Yeah. I was young. I didn't know anything different.
Yeah.
I thought, this is love.
Yeah.
And now I know it's really, really not.
Love is when someone sneaks up behind you and frightens you several times a week,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That's what love is?
That's what love is.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to think I was Beauty from Beauty and the Beast. And
What a creepy movie.
it's so creepy.
Disney movies are so fucked.
They really are.
They're so bad for women.
Really, though. They're getting better, which is good.
Yeah.
Like the new stories they're creating or the stories that they're tweaking now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ones that we grew up with,
Oh my god.
bad.
We learned that if someone kisses you while you're sleeping, it's romantic.
Yeah. Which now, it is rape.
If you are the only woman in a room full of men, you are expected to do all of their chores.
Snow White, what's wrong with you?
She was the creepiest.
Yeah.
What was that voice? It's like squeaky and weird. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like it. What was that? Yeah, that's a perfect impression.
Thank you.
What was that relationship with all the dwarfs?
I think she was their sex slave.
There was something weird there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did all their chores.
Also, Beauty and the Beast is just Stockholm Syndrome.
Yep. Yeah.
That's all that is.
Yeah.
If someone kidnaps you, threatens your life, threatens your father's life, and then they're like, oh, hey, I read, that is not... That is not the thing to get them out of jail.
That's the one redeeming quality. That's the one.
Yeah, they're still bad because they still kidnapped you and threatened to kill your dad.
Yeah. And they
So, congratulations on all the books.
Yeah.
But maybe, like, get out of there.
Yeah.
Go, move.
They're probably drugging you, which is why you think all the furniture is talking.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a good version of that movie.
Yeah.
You know what was so disappointing about the live action version of that movie? It was really fun.
Yeah.
But they hired Hermione, who cannot sing.
Oh.
If you're going to be a Disney movie, that is like top of the line Broadway caliber. If you cannot sing like a goddamn Broadway star, get out of the movie. You
Get out of
be
there.
You're not mature and wise enough. You draw in ratings because you're a Harry Potter lady.
Yeah.
But
Harry Potter lady.
But that's it. You're like 12 years old. You sing fine. You can have a perfectly fine hit on C100. But like, don't try and make this your Broadway debut because it's not.
No.
Yeah.
I agree.
Josh Gad was really fun in that movie though.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
I love him.
I love him. He's got a Broadway presence about him.
Oh,
because he comes from Broadway,
100%.
so he like knows
Yeah.
how to perform the fuck out of that song.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Listening to the soundtrack of Book of Mormon with him is so great.
I never saw that show.
No.
There are some key Broadway shows that I missed, and that is one of them. Also, never saw Hamilton.
Oh, me neither.
Yeah.
I'm waiting till, like, nobody talks about it ever again, and then I'll go see it.
Yeah, and then I'll go see it.
Yeah.
I know the soundtrack pretty well.
Yeah.
But I'm not such a musical person. I'm like, why are you singing at me? Why is this 8 minutes long? You could have just said one thing and we would have skipped this entire song.
Yeah, you know that chorus that you've been repeating over and over?
I get it.
Can you just speak it?
Can you just say it? Just real quick. We get it.
Like, write it down. And
Okay, you're so emotional. That's fine. Just say what you want to say.
Sure, you want to change costumes 8 times and have these people lift you up in the air. But that's not what we want.
No.
Oh, hold on. We're back.
We're back.
I don't think I have any more questions for you.
Okay. This was lovely.
Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Here's what I want to know. So it's your birthday in 2 days.
Yes.
You are operating on your highest levels. You are your best self. So in this week where you are wise and you see the world clearly, what advice do you have for the rest of us in dating? Like, what should we be doing, whether we're dating casually or looking for life partners? What can we be doing to help ourselves do it right?
Have these 2 things in mind. This is coming from the dating guru of 2019.
Yeah.
Number 1, there will always be time.
I love that.
Do not rush yourself. There's no rush to find love. There's no rush to find a partner. There's no rush to get a date tonight.
Love that.
Embrace what you have right now. Embrace all the abundance of time that you have in this world, because you don't know. You could live forever, and then you'll figure everything out, and you'll know the whole universe, and then your partner will know the whole universe, and then you two will live the universe together.
Yes, I love that so much.
Thanks. Second thing, love yourself. That's my big one that I'm going to keep with me the rest of my life.
Yeah. It's so
nothing
important.
is more important. And that's not anything to do with ego or walking around like you're the shit. Yes, I think we should have an air of that mentality, but we have to hug ourselves and love ourselves and embrace who we are, accept who we are. We are who we are, and we're always changing. And with every change, embrace it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that so much. That's really wise
Thanks.
and beautiful.
Thank you.
There is time. I also think it's really interesting to start thinking about time in new ways.
Yeah. It's not linear.
It's not linear. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not birthdays necessarily. It's not the time of day. We created all of that, and it's great to celebrate certain milestones. But it's also great to kind of realize that like we created time, so you can also create your own version of it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
It doesn't have to be this like pressure-filled thing.
Yeah. We put so much pressure on time.
With so much pressure on, by the time I'm this age, I have to do this thing.
Yeah.
And like, what does that mean? And what is age? Age is nothing. It doesn't
Right.
matter. Have you learned anything in that time?
Yeah.
Have you like grown as a person?
Right.
Because that can happen in a week and that can happen in 10 years.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, think about, 400, 500, 600 years ago.
Yeah.
What were we doing? We were dying by the time we were 45. So, I mean, none of them were in any hurry either.
Yeah.
They were just living their lives,
Yeah.
getting pregnant by like 13, but still.
But still. Well, this was great.
This was so lovely.
We shared. It's great.
Let's make this the cheesiest ending ever.
Ever. And you know what we gotta do?
Yes. The thing that you created.
To better dates.
To better dates.
Let's have an act clink.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. That made a statement.
It did.
Yeah.
It was a finale.